Culture Casino. 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 Oh. Culture Casino. Culture Casino. Culture Casino. Oh. Culture Casino. 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 Culture Casino.
Testing.
Culture Casino. Culture Casino. Culture Casino. Culture Casino. Culture Casino. Oh. Culture Casino. Culture Casino. Culture Casino.
Casino. Whoa, 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 whoa. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to, well, Saturday News Update. We have several stories to talk about. Let's say we always aim for 3 to 5. They can be from anything about anything. There's a lot of things to talk about. We've got less than 2 weeks before a very important event here in the United States. A lot of people have already participated in the process, and congratulations. I cannot say how important it is to do so. And I can tell you that right now, news outlets are terrified because normally they would participate in a different way. We're going to get to that in just a little bit because they're opting out. Not sure what I'm talking about. Well, that'll be the second set of stories we're going to talk about. We got 3 kinds of sets of stories to talk about. They're all interconnected except for the first one. Entertainment being the most important thing that I cover on my channel. And it's interesting because the entertainment world is struggling right now in 1,000 different ways, mostly in just how to treat things. But before we jump into all that, I want to say hi to each and every one of you. There's a lot of you out there. I appreciate y'all getting here early. I made sure the stream was set up at least 35 minutes before the show went off so I would get notifications out to you. If you're over there on the green machine like Magnify, be sure to say hello. I like to say hi to the folks over there. We've got folks on X. If you're on X, say hi. And we've also got some folks that are obviously on the tube, many of you, in fact. We started off strong. We've got 66 in the chat. Share the stream, share the dream. It'll actually help the channel. We got to build it. We got to grow it. If you're here and you didn't know it, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. It's absolutely free, and turn the notification bell on so you don't miss any of the live streams and you don't miss any of the great videos that I drop all the time. We've got a members only video coming up here early next week, a burrito video. That's right. I'm going to show you how to cook the sausage, egg, and cheese burritos. You're going to want this, I assure you. That, of course, is completely different than what we do on this channel, but I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy that. We were going to do 1 burrito video a week if we can until we get to the end of the year, of various types, including a veggie burrito, not vegan veggie, because we're going to use eggs. But we're going to try to go out of our way to make it so that you can make your food cheaper at home and healthier and avoid all the things that go into other food. Other food could be bad, so let's make our own food. And on that note, let's say hi to Canadian Spider-Man. What's going on, my friend? All the way up from the north, getting down here, swinging on the strings. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Sergeant Giratina's in the house. We've got the lovely Jill Powers. I hope you're feeling better, dear. I'm sorry that you were under the weather yesterday. Luke Corollo Oates. I'm going to do that forever now. Great to see you, my friend. Thanks for being a guest a few weeks ago. We had Q2Cast TV. Happy Saturday. Joe Rogan interview with the Trumplican hit 11 million views since it dropped. Yep. It had 300,000 in the first half an hour, and from there it was just gone. It's amazing. It's amazing 3 hours. We won't be talking about it on this show, but I will be talking about it tomorrow with the High Rollers. That's right. Tomorrow we have a High Roller stream. You will be automatically, if you're on the YouTube thing, you'll automatically be redirected to that stream. Be sure to hit the notify me for when it goes live so you don't miss it. That's right. The High Rollers is a public live stream with the very top tier supporters. I appreciate everybody. But these folks give me some money, and I appreciate it. In fact, I really wish there were more of them. But the top tier supporters get that public live stream event, and it's done once a month, and it's always a lot of fun. And we put this one at the end of the month. That's on me. Just too many things going on. So thanks for that. We got a few more folks rolling in the door, and then we got to jump on these stories. We got Tom F. in the house. John Comet, good morning, my friend. Got to meet John in person, had a brilliant conversation. I'm so grateful for all the people I have met. You really do mean the world to me. And that was a brilliant conversation, and I appreciated the gift. I still have it in my pocket, as a matter of fact. So thank you for that. You guys, you don't know what you mean to me, and every time I get to see you guys, it makes my day. So if you ever get a chance to go to a meetup, I assure you it will refill your joy bucket. Quick reminder: we do try to get to about 20 to 50 members, preferably 50, but 20 to 50 members per stream. We're trying to get back up there to 1,000 members. We were there, and then YouTube does what they always do and messes something up. And for about 2.5 weeks, we couldn't get membership gifts. So I would appreciate it. Lots of people do contribute. It does help. Again, this is my full-time job in retirement. So I am a full-time tuber, and you make the difference. So I appreciate that. You guys are the best. You're really just tired and feeling lightheaded. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I just want you to feel better, dear. Let's see who else is out there. We got a few others, like I said. Magnifies over on the green machine, and we got Snortopupus, Q Burr, our favorite polar bear. JS Pena, it's been a minute, my friend. Hello, good to see you. Good to see you. And let's see, we got a few other folks rolling in, like Little Mouse. Hello, late as usual. I'm never late. I think I might have been a 1 minute late, but it's because I was trying to initiate. Takes a while. RC, I think you followed me on Twitter, and welcome. Good to see you. We've got it's the Phobos. What's up? Despite a terrible toothache, I am here. Well, dang. Okay, get that taken care of. Those are no bueno, my friend. No bueno indeed. We got, oops. I clicked on the wrong thing, folks. Sorry about that. I was going to say hello to the lovely Cynthia Carter out there. Good morning, dear. Eric K is here. Eric, one of us needs to call the other one. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but it's probably me. I get a hold of you today, buddy. Mariella Neuwirth, hola, casino, and everyone. Hugs from the Western North Carolina. Well, I'm glad you are safe and have dug out of the hurricane. At least I can only suppose that's been the case. Larry, a name so nice, you say it twice. Larry. The amazing Keely Chow. Roll Tide, brother, roll tide. We've got a few other friends. Yeah. OMG, the rooster. That's right. Hey, here comes the rooster. Grim, otherwise known as Inferior. Hello, Rob Altus. Good morning, my friend. My friend. Happy anniversary to the Terminator. I didn't know the Terminator got married. No, I know. We've got a lot of properties that are coming of age right now. It's amazing. Good to see everybody. Love y'all. Biggles Mets in the house. Biggles Mets. Who else is out there in the world? Pam Epson is out there in the world, checking in from across the pond. You fell over and broke your hip. Are you okay, Pam? I hope you're okay. You can hope I'm okay. I hope you're okay. Goodness gracious. Please take good care of yourself and give us some updates as you progress. That's a rough thing to do. I've had family members do that often. I'm not looking forward to getting 20 years older. That's going to be yikes sauce. Now, I want to get 20 years older. I don't want to be gone, but I'm just saying. That's terrible, Pam. Please keep us updated. Frank's here. When you're retired, every day's Saturday. That's right. Except my Saturdays are full of talking to people and doing videos and hanging out with great people. Like in San Antonio, I got to hang out with drunk 3PO, who's, I think, in the chat. We got the great Snafu and Lombardi. What's up? Who else is hanging out with us here today? We've got core member, one of the greatest of all the memers. That's right. Maybe even the greatest. Some of those are brilliant. Liberty Hall's Cat. Hello. Welcome, sir. And thank you for gifting a Culture Casino membership. Much appreciated. The Andy Christ. I'm going to say it that way. I'm sorry. I just don't do the sacrilegious thing. Try not to, anyway. Greetings to you. Thanks for being here. I know it's a play on words. So let's see. Old Renaissance Boomer. What's up? What is up? Good to see you. We got some amazing people out there. I just appreciate the support. Japanese Spider-Man. Hey, konnichiwa. Greetings from Japan. Well, thank you for being there. Lots of the Jinja Ninjas actually in Japan, along with other things. He's just recently done a bunch of cards. I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it. I got to reach out to him. They look cool as heck. I envy artists. I think they're very talented. There's a few artists. I'm actually going to be doing a paint along stream with somebody who I think is probably one of the coolest people on the planet, Tabitha. She's gonna teach me how to paint. I'm so stoked about that. You guys don't know. I've actually talked with her at the San Antonio meetup on Wednesday about doing that. So I'm pretty stoked. Yeah, I was in San Antonio for a grand total of 20 hours. So in and out. Jeremiah Maxwell, how are you today? 11 Alphas out there as well, probably tracking the stocks. We got Stevie J. It's been a minute and a half. I hope you are doing well. Epic Wizard Beard. Yeah, that's actually, I gave up. You guys loved Hobo Casino, so Halloween, you're going to see the Hobo Casino once more. And then the beard is going to get severely trimmed because I got to go to the dermatologist. Oh, who else is out there? Mark Daly's out there, late to the party. What am I just saying hi to people? The first 10 minutes of the show is almost always me saying, hello, hello, my friends, hello. Yeah. It's good to see you. So there's my old buddy, Jake D. Got to see him on Wednesday. This dude is awesome. Love that guy. There he is. Okay, great to see you on Wednesday, brother. Drunk, it was super wonderful to see you, my friend. I really hope the book launch goes great. I want my if there are wrenches here, and I think there are. Eric K's here. Please drop Drunk's campaign for his latest book. Green needs to make 10,000. He aimed for a goal of 5,000 copies. I want to see 10,000 copies of this book. In fact, 50,000 copies. Let's multiply what Jay wants by 10. Okay, let's make this super successful. He's an incredible charitable man, and I appreciate him, and I'm proud to call him friend. Eric K for 41 months of membership, full-time tubing. Any help is appreciated. That's right, I am. I'm not that kind of tuber though. Not Jeffrey anyway. Doomslayer. Great baseball game last night. I'm going to tell you right now, baseball, when you get to October, becomes a different level and more people pay attention. And there's a reason for that. I mean, the playoffs are where the juice is, kids. Darth Gutierrez, good morning. Billy Lowe is out there as well. The lovely Monica S. Hello, Monica. We got a few other folks rolled in the door. I love Saturday shows. You guys are wonderful. Let's see. We got Eddie Shirley in the house. What was your job before you retired? I usually don't talk too much about the personal stuff, but I did stuff. I did stuff. I've done a lot of things, and funnily, my hobbies somehow always turn into a job. And then I found this, and this became a job, and it was the best. It was the best. So, yeah, it really depends on your perspective. If you're doing what you love, you run a company that you love, you built a company that you love, it's really not working. But eventually, you got to find the thing that brings you pure joy, and hanging out with you guys and doing this and making videos and working with other people, great people. That's pure joy. So I'm blessed every day and I'm grateful. Retiring was fun. BMO Beta is going to BMO Beta over there on the green machine. We got a few other folks. Everybody saying hi to Jay. I appreciate that. I'm 6 minutes behind on the chat, as always. If I missed you, it's not on purpose. I'm scrolling through quickly, but I can't miss Release the McCracken, one of the great memers out there. Dapper Bard Games is in the house. You made it to the Saturday show. Yes, you did. Let's see. We got another member chat out there I'll get to in just a moment. Longtime supporter. Our good friend Stuttering Guitarist is out there. Good at A and F. Yeah, I did a video on Abercrombie and Fitch. That's a members first video. It'll be out later today. It might be out now. I don't know. I dropped one yesterday about the Ray movie being dead. I don't think there's a doubt about it now. We've got, so much stuff going on. You guys are keeping me busy. Are you painting Warhammer minis? No. Actually, a painting. Like I'm gonna paint a thing. Yeah. I am not artistic in any sense. CC is Bob Ross. I may have to stand the whole time. I have an easel I can borrow, so I may do that. Well, Brady Blummer, what's up to you? We got lots of wonderful people. I got to meet DJ Ronnie G in person, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Jan Monroe, good morning, and more and more. RC says, I follow you on Pro. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Rod Thunderheart, he just dropped a member chat. It was Hail, see Through Love plug. Yeah, of course, go check out his book. The mods probably have access to that as well. Rod Thunderheart does amazing work and is a writer in addition to his regular jobs. Check that out for sure. Jared Markham, good morning. It's been a minute and a half, my friend. I hope you're doing well. The lovely Southern Belle. Will Kilcher sing? Yes, he has now sung longer than Beyonce at a presidential candidate rally. Yeah, there you go. Nah, man, I love this guy. Please support the book. If anything, buy a copy for somebody else. That's just do the best just do the best support of his campaign that you can. There, those are words. Words are hard on a Saturday morning. Achromatic Chronicles Green. Buy one for yourself and donate a book. Thank you, Eric K, for pumping that. I appreciate it. Rock the Casbah. I didn't need to know that. Enoch the Altrusian. Or Enoch. I don't remember, but it's good to see you, my friend. It's good to see you. Nearsighted Cyclops. Okay, guys, I've got to get going. We got stuff to talk about. Lots of it. We're going to be 2 hours today. Real Wade Nation, good to see you. Maybe longer. But I've got to record a bunch of game videos, but I can't skip the fact that one of the most wonderful humans in the world is here. Jillian N. She gifted 10 Culture Casino memberships. I just want to say thank you. I wish I had the ability to drop those thank you messages in this stream, but they're not programmed in the layers. Jillian, super appreciate the 10 Culture Casino memberships. We are on our way. We are 11 in to our goal of 50 memberships on the stream. Hopefully we can get there. But if we don't, hey, Jillian, thank you. I appreciate it. She likes all names green, basically coining the phrase and making it a mantra for me. I want to see 1,000 members back again. We were so close before, and then we got over the eclipse. They eclipsed the goal, and then YouTube said, no more gifting memberships. So there's that. Doc Savage, the Bronze Man. Check out those if you can find them. They're amazing. I mentioned you. The Jinja Ninja is here all the way from Japan, and he just did a bunch of cards. We have to talk, my friend. Please. I want to talk to you about that. Because the next gift for the next big meetup, of course, I've still got the poker chips, and those of you who showed up at the Wednesday meetup, you were the first ones in bulk to get those. But those black poker chips, they're the last in the poker chip series. Now we're moving on to cards. So I got to talk to Jinja Ninja, who's one of the most talented people I know. My goodness. Their former CEO appears a creep. Shaw. Southern Bell for $2 says Culture has sung longer than QB at a there you go, at a VP rally. There it is. Thank you. I appreciate it. I tell you what, Eminem's looking weak sauce. There she is. and all the incredible fellow Culturians. That's right. That's right. That's right. Thank you, Canadian Spider-Man. I appreciate it. Snakes and funerals. When is the VP going on Rogan? Don't know. Probably not. I think I think she has significant fear. Trump spoke off the cuff, extemporaneously, if you want to use a big word, with Rogan for 3 hours. Believe me, we're going to talk about that. I think we're going to get there on the second story. It was incredible. Yeah. Jay has the best words. Jay makes up words, and then they become the lexicon of our time. We add them to the dictionary right away. Kwai Ching Kang. Good to see you. Um, Culture. May you walk upon the path of peace and enlightenment. I am trying. I am trying. Try to try to live like uh, try to live like the savior every day. That's the most important thing. Go and shogi. Good morning. We've got John Coleman. Holy cow! Like I said, I met John on Wednesday. It was great. I love talking to people. You guys, these are wonderful events. You got to go. But for 5 Culture Casino memberships, I'll say an extra thank you to John. Very generous, my friend. Indeed, 5 more names going green. That's right. Love it, love it, love it. Convert the grays. That's right. All right, we got to get to it. I promise we got stories. What's up, Bodie? Good to see you. I'm having a great day. I love Saturdays. I'm bouncing around. It's crazy. So much energy. So much positivity for the day. The good vibes, as Mark Fields would say. I got them, and hopefully you got them too. Hopefully we uplift you in this stream. I hope so. Scott Somers got Deadpool and Wolverine on Blu-ray. Yeah, people are loving that, loving it, and not to mention the fact I think it's going to stay in theaters. I think it's going after. We'll see. I think Marvel's going to try to take the spot away from the Inside Out 2. So we'll see. I can't believe we got 16 memberships already. Thank you. All I just can't even believe it. Can't even believe it. I have caught up. I love it. I love it. Does Culture have bear stories? Not today. Saturday, we usually don't get very many of them. But let's jump into the first story as it is. Sorry to disappoint. We had double bear stories this week, though. We had a teddy bear story and a regular story. But let's jump in. Let's start first with the box office so we ease into the entertainment conversation because we really need to. Venom: The Last Dance eyes an opening in the mid or low 50s. Praise on overseas to keep Tom Hardy movie in the black. It's going to. This headline's misleading. You're looking at a $180 million international bow for this movie. It is doing not as well as I'd hoped for. I thought it would get closer to 70 million in the States, but I was reasonable and I said maybe 45 at the low end. Well, it looks like it is going to do 50. And that's a decent number. The previews and the fan event came in on Thursday's numbers, and at 8 million, I thought that's a good thing. But a lot of people that are fans of Venom are loving this movie. This is kind of a fan love situation, unlike the second film, which I think ruined Carnage. I don't know if you guys agree, but I think it did. This is what we got. So Anthony D. Alessandro gives us this article and did a Friday update. Stay out of your car. This weekend is what's going around Los Angeles. The big hurdle keeping men out of cinemas is Sportsageddon. That's right. There's a lot of sports out there. Plus, World Series. The LA Dodgers, face off in 43 years with the Yanks. That's right. That was last night. Great game 1. You have got USC football. Lakers have home games. Basically, Los Angeles apparently was a big driver of 2021's Venom and Carnage, with 11 of the top 20 grossing theaters. Well, California is a massive populous state. That's true about a lot of things, but keep going. 21 million Friday, not as good as I had hoped. For an opening in the low 50s at 4,100 theaters. That's a wide open. That's about as wide as they get these days. And audience scores at 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. And that's just under the first Venom. Let There Be Carnage got 84. I still think that movie sucked rocks, but hey, that's me. Completely bailing out this 120 million dollar. By the way, that's the budget or reported budget. We know there's a lot of room there. It includes TSG as a co-financier for a third in and is foreign. International audiences are less cynical about the superhero films than stateside, and so those numbers are big. If there's a global final box office take of 450 to 500 million, profitability can be entangled in Venom's web, and Sony is bullish it can get to 180 million global on opening weekend, and so am I. And by the way, consider this: that will have kicked the teeth in on Joker, which was a $200 million expense, which they're going to lose at least $200 million on that production. I mean, they just are. There's no money there to be made. The film, last I checked, which was what, a day ago, was still under $200 million global. This film's going to get that much easier at 180 million just in an opening weekend internationally or globally, I should say. So there's that. Smile 2, second place, going to stay there. It's doing great. $3.2 million on Friday. Second weekend aim of 10.8 million. That's 53% down. That'll be a better hold than you see from a lot of films. And Smile 2, pretty decent film. Terrifier 3 is going to be in it could be in the top 5 for the weekend. While Robot will be in third for sure. What a great film, right? They already put a sequel on that. It didn't cost hardly anything at all. If I remember right, like 78 million or something. And in comparison, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but in comparison to all these big budget pictures, that's a much less. But Terrifier 3 keeps going. And let me tell you, every single dollar you see here at 45.2 million, that's profit. I know you're like, wait, Culture, that film cost $2 million to make, but it's already pre-sold. It's already pre-sold. So basically it's already, every dollar it makes is profit money. So at 45.2 million, cut that in half, pure profit, baby. Pure profit. You got Conclave, didn't really break well this weekend. We Live in Time, maybe one of the most disappointing launches and films of the moment at 11.1 million. I don't remember exactly what the production budget was, but yeah, there's that. But like you said, the projected global weekend is now at 180, which will be 5% higher than the global start for Let There Be Carnage. And you know what? There just needs to be that for this movie, Venom Last Dance. Look, if you're a fan of Venom, great. If you just like cuckoo bananas popcorn movies, this is probably your jam. And I mean, Tom Hardy sold out on this one. He did everything he could to make it great. So if you are a Venom fan, you're probably going to dig this. If you're not, then I understand it. You probably wait to stream it. But there's that. And eventually, as somebody asked here, I think it was Colonel Guile. These films will definitely show up on cable. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. That's right. We had man, look at that. I can't believe it. Thank you for the gifts, guys. They really do help. The memberships are great. Going to be extraordinary. I'm trying to catch up with you. John Coleman. Oh, yeah, no, it was great to talk to you, my friend. It was wonderful to meet everybody. Wolverines put Little Brother in his place tonight. Well, we'll see. I hope so. Big Blue needs some big wins. Uh, who else is out there in the world? Got a few other folks. Darth Gutierrez ordered his Blu-ray for Deadpool and Wolverine. Got it delayed. What? Sorry, my voice is not in great shape to do Skeletor today. Scott Westbrook for 5. Culture Casino Cash drops one of my favorite super stickers. It's a Shiba Inu dog saying, "Good job." Well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate all your support, brother. I really do. I hope everything's going well in your neck of the woods. And I need to see more of your wonderful photography. Alan is here. Good morning, Cece. Good morning, chat. Well, good morning. Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you and you and you and you. All right. Hey, Admiral Teague's in the house. What's up? Yankees win in 6. I don't think I can argue with that. Looks strong. And it's kind of a bummer because my grandpa, rest his soul, was a huge Dodgers fan. So, yeah. My other grandpa's so much. uh, Giants fan. Um, the baseball fandom in my family is spread out. Probably just so we can antagonize each other, but it is what it is. Hampton, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Watching daughter's volleyball game. Awesome. Volleyball's so fun. I miss it. Boosh, it has been too long, my friend. Where have you been? Where have you been? I missed you. I missed you. Colonel Guile doesn't think Venom's worth seeing in theaters. Understood. Yep. Anthony is ignoring the most of the international box office is going to be coming from China. That's actually true, which means that the take that the studios get is far less. You're lucky to pull 20% of the box office receipts from China. In fact, I've heard much lower. Who else in the house? Sorry, trying to keep up with y'all. Hollywood will burn. Says Smile 2 was awesome, and I'm hooked on Sky Riley. I got to tell you, consider this. I mean, Jack Nicholson's kid. Nicholson. Jack Nicholson's kid's in it. Looks just like him. Dead ringer. Terrifying. That smile thing. Spooky. Haywood, Joblamy. How's it going, my friend? Good to see you. Victor Fontaine. Opened at 80. Yep, opened at 90. Yeah, this is not great. With inflation, this one is selling a lot less tickets. It is. It is. It's a bummer. No doubt. But 180. Sorry, still bigger than Joker. It was 40 years ago today. The Terminator came out to play. That's right, October 26, 1984. Let's see, what was I? 14? Wow. Wow. Yep. Lucius Nature Triste. I have never understood why people are so wound up in sports. What is it that claims so much loyalty? Well, I think for a lot of the audience, either the joy of playing it yourself or the thrill of supporting something that used to be pure. Wouldn't say that anymore with those games, but a lot of times it's handed down from family member to family member. I mean, especially in sports towns specifically. But men seem to glom on to the competition, and that's what it's about. It's about top tier athletes competing against one another to to find out who's better. It's a modern gladiator, in various forms. I mean, it's a same reason. I still don't understand the broadest hype and appeal of certain sports. I mean, soccer. I like soccer. I played soccer, but that global game is just it's out of control, and I don't understand I mean, you want football fans here in the states, baseball fans here in the states. You can say whatever you want. They don't hold a candle to the pandemonium that happens at a soccer match or at the World Cup. They just don't. So I don't know. Kit Kat's here with a Kit Kat. Good to see you, General Ursus. Uh, I'll watch Venom at home while I'm doing housework, like vacuuming the carpet. Well, there you go. That always works. The Union of the Snake. Terry Scott, good morning. Got a lot of great folks hanging out. Appreciate the support. We're swinging. We got Yorick Graves out there in the world. You know what? Let's get this off. I need to I need to. There we go. Yeah, change screens. They make terrible movies today. Well, there's no lie there, York. No lies spoken. Hello, says Sonder Hammerschlag. Dean Grant's in the house. Howdy, y'all. Hello, Dean. Jill is out there chatting everybody up. Love it. Hollywood will burn. He was great in the film as well. Yeah, Hardy's a good actor. I like him a lot. WG, what is up, my friend? I missed you on Wednesday. I even knew you weren't going to be there. So there's a conversation we need to have, brother. That's right. I just want to say thank you for the 10 Culture Casino memberships. Holy cow, we are almost. We actually are over halfway there. I think we have got 26 so far. Yes, sir. Thank you, WG. We are on our way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. I'm taking my time and I don't know where. Thank you, WG. You're amazing. Wild Dog USA. Good morning and welcome from the Green Machine. Good to see you. Look at all those names going green. I love it. Boosh. Good Lord, you're old. Well, yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Kenny Long is here. Good morning, good afternoon, Culture and Culturians. You're at a MAGA rally. Oh, wow. Dude, those are packed in Michigan. Awesome. But a bit of an intermission between speakers and wanted to say hi to you, Culture, and everyone. Thank you, Kenny. Good to see you. But every time I see your name, I'm like, Kenny Long, the pirate? Wow. I hope you are safe. Oh, Okasa, the ninja. I'll give anyone a personal lesson in ninjutsu. And best anyone. You probably will. Thank you, Sergeant Giratina. Have a super day if you're still here. You are amazing. I'm trying to catch up. You guys, I got more stories. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep going. Racer X is in the house. I am having an incredible day, sir. Thank you. I missed a member chat and gifted membership. I think I got WG. Yeah. And I got your member chat coming up here in a second. I'll make sure I do it next. How about that? Boosh McFad, longtime supporter, 15 months of membership, says all we want is entertainment. Well, yeah, 100%. I get it. I mean, for me, I love popcorn movies. Some people don't. Some people want there to be a whole lot of substance to something. I get it, right? I don't need that though. I just need something to be great, something to be just popcorn stuff, action stuff. You know, fantastical things even work, but you have to do it good. You have to have a complete story, et cetera, et cetera. Captain Phantom Nerd, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Oh, and thanks, WG, for 10 Culture Casino memberships. We are rocking. Jillian N. Look at all these. We got 26 so far. You guys are amazing. Old Renaissance boomer, I want to highlight your chat, but there's a certain platform that will not like me for that. So there's that. Entertaining entertainment. That's right. Hey, use the word and the word you're defining. I sound like a certain candidate that's a word salad sandwich. Anyway, let's jump over to the thing that's driving them all crazy right now, and the fact that the numbers are huge. Nobody wants to admit this, and all of these stories are tied together. And maybe you'll suggest that they're tied into politics, and in a way, of course, they are. I mean, not as overtly as Hollywood ties everything to politics and ideology, and other issues where things are confusing on purpose. But the Orange Man went on Joe Rogan's show, and it got wild. That's right. The Orange Man tells Joe Rogan the biggest mistake of his presidency was picking bad, disloyal people. By the way, this was in the first 25 minutes of the interview. It was amazing, or maybe it was the first half an hour, but it's within the early part of this, the first quarter of it easily. This thing went on for a full 3 hours. Seriously. I mean, just under like 2 minutes under 3 hours, which is kind of a Joe staple. It is a strong conversation. Lots of interesting insight, things that nobody else would ask him. The format is perfect for somebody who can speak extemporaneously, off the cuff, whatever you want to use. I'm not quite finished with it yet, but it was very, very impressive. Um, but yeah, and old Renaissance boomer, I'm with you. I'm with you. So he sat down with Rogan to record a 3 hour interview on Friday. It was released later Friday evening because, well, guess what? The Orange Man was doing multiple rallies on Friday. Can't believe how many events he showed up at, and and he's back at it again today. So, in a wide-ranging discussion, he said his biggest mistake during the time in the White House was hiring bad people or disloyal people. He actually even illustrated an example. He repeated he, and this is where you can tell the politics of PMC or PMG. No, I think it's PMC of Penske Media Group, right? Penske Media Corporation. They are all in on some very interestingly bad ideas. But yeah, and they obviously were doing the interview in Austin, Texas. Rogan asked him whether he'd made bad choices, and he boasted about this is funny. He actually did talk about the fact that he got to do something that few uh, our Oval Office occupants get to do, which is choose multiple candidates for the Supreme Court. Um, he acknowledged that his biggest mistake was I picked some people that I shouldn't have picked. And of course, Rogan asked him about neocons and stuff like that. He said, "Yeah, neocons are bad people or disloyal people," and it's true. He recognizes that he didn't quite have the kind of political acumen at the time because he had never done it before. He talked about the number of people that had either walked in with a background in politics, and even showing speaking about Ronald Reagan, but he also talked about the fact that the other people that weren't politicians were generals, major military background, and understood structure and leadership. And while he understood those things, leadership, he didn't have the political background with all of these career politicians to understand what was going on. I think he figured that out in the first term. So it was an interesting interview. Like I said, I haven't quite finished it yet because it's long, and I have obviously to make entertainment for everybody else. So I will finish this up and give round thoughts about it. But he called Kelly a bully, by the way, but a weak person. He said he's bad while he disparaged Bolton as actually he spoke quite highly of Bolton until he started talking about somebody who told him not to do it, not to get him in any kind of powerful position. And it turns out he had people that were doing some very, you know, backstabby things. So it's fascinating. And like I said, I don't like to get political because I look, all I want you to do is vote. You vote for who you choose. I'm not going to tell you who to choose. I'm just going to say that Rogan kept saying during the course of the interview that he's saying, look, a lot of people have never seen just how much love the ladies on The View used to have for you, and talking about the fact that the entire media, which would include The View, basically turned their back to him and just started to attack him because he wasn't part of the system after previously loving the guy. And again, he was he says he was a Democrat through the '90s, and then he somehow changed sides. And look, I mean, He's still he's a New York Democrat. I mean, there's no arguing that. He just, changed the banner so that he could run and, stand up for the things that he thought were right. Um, so there's a lot out there. Um, but they talked about the quote unquote laptop issue for the current occupant's son, and the letter signed by 51 former intelligence officials, um, which had all the stuff on there of that were claimed, and yet obviously nobody ran with that. So it was terribly wild. It's wide ranging, and I think a lot of people may have realized a few things. Um, Rogan claimed that the rebels are Republicans now. Yeah, they're the anti-establishment group, and kind of in the way they always have been. The establishment's always been trying to push things onto a populace, and have these ideas that are about reforming, because the greatest country on the world isn't good, according to certain people. But he called conservatives punk rock, as a matter of fact, while the current people that are in power on in the Democrat Party are now pro silencing criticism, pro censorship, um, about regulating free speech, and it's true. I mean, whenever they say misinformation, I mean, what is that? Well, it's an opinion. Well, that's not accurate. Well, I'm going to tell you something. All of the stuff, well, not all of it, but a large portion of things that had been talked about as conspiracy theories turned out to be accurate. And we have these agencies that are supposed to be governed by science. Well, they certainly weren't, and it's all been nonsense out there. It's all about a different form of control. I don't want government control in my life. Do you? So that's kind of what that was all about. I just want to say it was a wonderful beginning of the interview. You can watch it for yourself, even if you are adverse to his policies, even if you're not a fan. You want to be informed about the opposition if you stand in opposition to him. It's the same thing. I listen to all the knuckleheads and word salad that's out there in the world, because I want to understand what is the appeal of this person. I haven't been able to find it. Of course, I wasn't able to find it about Grandpa ice cream either. But c'est la vie, such as life. The idea of running on being anti somebody is it means you don't have anything to offer. Because if that's your only offering, well, this guy, yeah, you can't always pivot to that. It doesn't work. It's foolish, and it doesn't offer anybody a reason to side with you. And if it does, then that's ridiculous. Well, I'm anti this person, but why? Is that an opinion you formed yourself, or is it one that somebody pounded into your head? I mean, I can outline all of the various things that I'm not a fan of when it comes to candidates, but do I have better ideas? I'd like to think so. Anyway, it is what it is. Let's see. Doc Savage. I was the original orange man. Well, technically you were bronze, but yes, I would agree. Oh, for me, it's important to understand what somebody's positions and policies are. So if you tell me what your plan is, I'm that's great. If you have a track record of following through on the things you want to do, good enough for me. So, I just look, an attack is not an argument. And so ad hominem attacks, not arguments. You can call somebody the worst person in the world. You can compare him to the worst person in history. It doesn't make it true. And a lot of people have awakened to that. So it is what it is. And again, that's as political as I ever am going to get on my channel. Um, just do yourself the kind gesture of being informed on both of the positions that these people have, not on whether or not they like each other, not on whether or not they're calling each other names. Make your choice on things that you've thought about, and you'll be a happier person. So it is what it is. You guys are absolutely wonderful. I hope you guys are supporting each other in the chat. We got people dropping in all the time. Mark Fields, for example, who I talked about before you even got here. I said it's positive vibes for everybody. That's right. That's right. And that's all I want on my channel. It's all I want for you. And, Wild Dog USA Day wants says vote early. Yes. Um, yeah, a lot of people stayed up late to watch that. So, Adams, make your choice, son. Yep. What's funny is if you do compare him to an evil regime that was put together in Germany from the 30s through the 40s, you're doing a disservice because it's not anywhere close. If you look at the alignment and the policies of that particular group of brown shirts, you will easily identify that they immediately ally with a progressive sense, alienating and identifying an enemy to rally around in the form of a religious system. That's the problem, and truly, truly. Hey, Jerry Beckett says, I'll be happier with more money in my pocket. Me too. Right now, I can't afford to live because of what's happening in the economy. Look, that's the thing that I love to keep going back to is the fact that the economy is not good. It's not. Anybody who pretends otherwise is absolutely lying. The stock market may look good. It may look good. Your portfolio may look good. Your 401k may look good. But for how much longer? Have you seen the number of stores and locations a lot of these listed companies are, well, closing? Have you seen their sales and their earnings not meet the expectations? And at what point does that all fall apart because the people who would normally participate in purchasing your product or service or whatever you have to offer won't be able to do so because inflation has been unchecked. In fact, it's been driven by the spending that is not even being spent here in the United States. You need to look into how much as a percentage of spending is not being spent on the people here or the people who are here legally, but that's an entirely other conversation, right? I'm just saying. Thank you for that, Jerry. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hey, your average American patriot, what's up? Good to see you. And look, we used to disagree amiably. I think there we go. Yeah, we all can agree to disagree. Culture has the best chat. I agree. The fact that you guys, even if you disagree on these points or these matters, you don't go at each other. I pride that. I think it's great, and it shows that you're a fully rounded person when you can enter the arena of ideas and do it without attacking each other. You're brilliant. Thank you. You guys are the best. But um, we got a lot to talk about. So let's move on. We've got this is still tied, unfortunately, to politics, and I hate to do that to you guys because I try to stay away from it. But these are news stories; they're entertainment driven. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the mainstream media, when it comes to news service, is entertainment now. The presenters. This is going to be a term that's going to catch on globally. They're doing it they've been doing it in the UK for too long. But instead of like newscasters, because people don't do that anymore, or news anchors, which they certainly don't do. They're presenters. They're trying to do that here in the U.S. too. But those are political positions now because you're blah 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 spitting out whatever the approved dialogue is of the day, and because these media conglomerates own most of, if not entirely, the mainstream media. You're getting the seed of power. What will best help us today? What's best to obfuscate? What's best to present? And that's not the way the news is supposed to be. The only reason that a lot of these large conglomerates exist is because they were given access to the airways by promising to deliver you news as a public service as part of their broadcast day. That's how they got access to these licenses to broadcast this terrestrially. So when you understand it from that point and why the FCC exists and everything else, then you kind of understand that as it originally started, they were there to give you the news of the day. The local stations, in order to do what they did, had to be able to produce a news segment, a PSA, whatever you want to call it, that it would allow the airwaves to be used for. And then news became a business. The weirdest thing was the global news cycle because of CNN, and then others came along to compete. Well, that became a real problem. And while I appreciate what Ted Turner did back then, it has been bastardized in a way that has really kind of muddied the waters for everybody. The information you get, don't pretend to yourself, has always been tainted. The information we've always got, even back then, even back when you originally started broadcast television, even on the radio, you were being given, whatever, the perspective was. We try to be as unbiased as possible when we present legitimate news, right? But everybody has some inherent bias of whatever it is. And as long as people can discern between the bias and the information, that's important. Presenting something in a dispassionate way, as unbiased as you can, is the most important thing. And that's what I try to do when I do film reviews. Well, news is terrified because if things don't go the way they plan them to go, they're going to have some accountability, and they don't want it. And that includes the Washington Post. You see, going back to yesterday and the day before and the day before that, we'll get to that in just a minute, news organizations are saying we're not going to endorse a candidate. That hasn't happened in a long time. And when it started happening, that's when you knew the jig was up, right? But the Washington Post said specifically that um, that they just aren't going to endorse a candidate. They're done. Now, who owns the Post? I bet you guys know. But, you might want to look that up. Anyway, so updated the Woodward and Bernstein comment. The Washington Post will not endorse a candidate in the race in this cycle, breaking a long-time tradition. Publisher Will Lewis, in a memo to staffers, wrote that they are returning to our roots of not endorsing candidates. The Post decision follows a revelation that the Los Angeles Times, and we'll get to that in a second, also decided not to endorse this cycle. Why? Because if they endorse a word salad sandwich, they've got a problem because she doesn't answer questions at all. She talks in a circle. She doesn't, and none of it usually makes sense. Observational, you may disagree. Maybe you understand that, and if you do, help me out. Can decipher what some of these answers are, please, please. But when you look at it, the Times decided not to endorse as well. And there was a backlash, obviously, from readers and the resignation of publications editor of editorials, Mariel Garza, along with other staffers. We're going to get into that because it's broader than I even thought. We recognize that this will read in a range of ways, including a tacit endorsement of one candidate. Well, they can't endorse the word salad sandwich, or as an abdication of responsibility. Well, you don't really have a responsibility. You're supposed to deliver news. You're not supposed to deliver a pick this person kind of situation. So that is inevitable. We don't see it that way. We see it as consistent with the values the Post has always stood for, and we hope for in a leader. Character and courage. Oh, they're going to have a hard time assigning that to one of the candidates. To an American ethic, veneration of the rule of law, which, again, show me that recently, folks, in illegal directives and things like that. Anyway, and respect for human freedom in all its aspects. Anybody get stuck in their house for a while? Anybody mandated to get certain things or wear certain things or anything like that? Anyway. But the Post's non endorsement, like the Times, raised suspicion that the billionaire owners of both publications were being careful should the Orange Man be elected and return to the White House because he's vowed retributions on political opponents. Well, that's a strong way to say he's going to look for accountability and he's going to expose things that were done incorrectly. And I know we're losing audience, but this is just what's happening. So the Post is owned by Jeff Bezos, in case you didn't know, and the Times is opened by Patrick Soon-Shiong. So there you go. And a lot of people are like, we are already seeing cancellation from once loyal readers. Come on. The decision undercuts the work of our members at a time when we should be building our readers' trust, not losing it, the Guild said. Bye. And again, this is a problem that I have with mandated opinion and certain industries having unification, which is a completely different conversation and won't get into it. But what's odd about it is this. the Los Angeles Times lost more editors. This story was reported 2 days ago. And Robert Greene and Karen Klein joined editorial page editor Mariel Garza in departing the paper following its decision not to endorse a candidate because we didn't get Orange Man bad, hate uh, endorsement of a candidate, which again they lose credibility when they can't cite reasons to endorse a candidate. So across the board, this is the effect. Benny Johnson said it this morning on Twitter. Um, Again, and look, folks, you got to read, you got to pay attention, you got to listen to both sides. That's the most important thing. But Benny Johnson said the following: mainstream's dead. Nobody trusts them, especially the print outlets now. They've lost credibility. They're desperate to get it back. And the only way they'll be able to do it is if they start to tell the truth. But that's terrifying in this day and age. There's what's the upside to telling the truth? You're gonna you're gonna have all these people that are gonna be crying in their beer because the thing that their worldview that they've been getting from tainted information, one-sided information. Let's say that's nicer, kinder. One-sided information is now destroyed, and somebody took a wrecking ball to their belief system. And instead of it being based on something solid, a solid philosophy, or perhaps a religious, background or whatnot, it was based on the mainstream media. Come on now. Anyway, but yeah, this was an interesting move by both of these massive publications. And you know what? They're owned by billionaires. Guess what? It's a business at the end of the day. They were like, yeah, we may lose some subscribers, but they'll come back. Why? Who else are you going to read? The Los Angeles Times in that part of the world is, well, kind of the paper of record. The Washington Post, kind of a bit of a paper of record. So, where's your worldview going to come from now? Radicalized sites that are dwindling by the day because they're disappearing. I don't know. You're starting to see real change. People are waking up and discovering that the world around them isn't what they're being told by the mainstream media. Hopefully they are. I know I am. I haven't believed the mainstream media in, oh boy, how old am I? 30 some years? Easily. I mean, more than half my life, I've been being lied to. I was lied to about a war in Iraq. I was lied to about other wars in the Middle East. I was lied to about the evidence. It wasn't substantive. The arguments weren't being made well. I can understand protecting oil interests and things like that, but that's not how things were being sold. There was a time when the press would actually talk about things like that. Now they don't. They don't want to uncover the truth. There's really no investigative journalism unless you go well outside the mainstream. Anyway, just a thought, and a little more political than I get on my show, but I thought it was important to talk about. And in light of, obviously, Rogan. By the way, who's not going to go on Rogan? If I got a chance to go on Rogan, I would sit down with the guy. He's fascinating. He's an incredible interviewer. I'd like to interview him right back. I think that's the most important conversations is the people that step up and have a conversation with him and ask him questions. He's great. He's phenomenal. And you wouldn't think, but then you have to remember, he came out of comedy. Comedy is about questioning the world and the reality around you all the time and looking at it with a different view than most people would. That's why they're funny. They see something that's humorous in the way something operates, right? I think so anyway. And Putin's cat is correct. The press has historically started conflict and wars. Yeah, since the 1800s. You're 100% right. I think everybody's just tired of the lies, and that's why and with your help, that'll help build this channel. We're at the strangest point in history right now that I think we've ever been, and that's saying something because we've had some wild situations globally since recorded history began. And we thought we lost a lot of it, Alexandria and other things like that. But look, what we've been managed to preserve, this is the weirdest time to live. And I'm going to say this: I don't want to live in interesting times. I want to be interested in things, but I don't want to live in interesting times. I'm done with that. I've had oh wait, what was how many years ago was 2012? It's been too long. Okay, it's been too long. 14 years of Hades because the world turned on one moment in time. Somebody mentioned this to me, and I would love to attribute it to them, but I don't remember. In a conversation we talked about, where did things change in America? And believe me, I'm not blaming the person that said this, but I'm I'm blaming them for a lot of other things we can talk about on a different show or a different channel. In fact, I may start a political channel. I don't know, but the world pivoted in 2012. We went from statements by the current president at that time that the racial relations had been solved in the United States. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically the message. And then not that long after that, an incident took place that all of the race baiters out there, um, uh, all the race baiters out there took advantage of and forced a position politically to begin the divide all over again. Because I grew up in the 80s, folks. I grew up in this. I was born in the 70s, grew up through the 80s, was experiencing the world and education in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And when, the world was, at least in the United States, was basically as melting pot as you were going to get. They don't even try that anymore, but that's an entirely other conversation. This is where we're at, folks. And from that point forward, Dick Morris's wedge issue became something that they could wedge between all of us. Where did all of this division come from? Some very bad places, including McKinsey. McKinsey's probably one of the worst. And if you have major financial magazines attacking, your reasoning for ESG, DEI, and all that other baloney sausage, then you know you've screwed up. But taking people's word for it, I do not like consulting agencies or research agencies that are trust me, bro. And that's what McKinsey's always been. Well, not always, but in the last 20 years. But look, they turned it into check boxes, different ways to divide you. And if you think about it, the modern Democratic Party, starting around Clinton's era, with Dick Morris, who created the wedge issue, the politics of division, um, this is where it all began. I mean, going all the way back there. But when we got to 2012, we went from that statement that racial relations in this country have reached their potential. And then just a few months later, just a few weeks later, I believe, you all of a sudden have a moment in time where they turn the switch and get everybody on the same page to start dividing us along the lines. I'm tired of it. There's no difference between me and somebody from, you know, uh, any other race. And anybody who doesn't accept that, I can't help you. But I will say this, that that was the point it happened. And again, politics of division, check boxes, it just got worse and worse and worse. How can we divide people more? How can we put them more at odds with each other? Well, when you put people at odds, they're not paying attention to larger things. We need to stop doing that. Wise words spoken by many people. Stop paying attention to race because it doesn't matter. Anyway. Whew. Wow, I'm on fire today. All right. Huh. Sorry, guys. Wow. I went on a raging rant there. Petty's got the grandbabies today. Yay. See, I can talk about happy, pleasant things. Terry Rose is in the house. Good to see you. All right. Who do we got out there? I apologize. I went on for a long time, guys. Am I still live? Because the chat slowed to a crawl. Jacob Gordon, hello. Oligarchs sold America out for $1. Yeah, well, I need to ask a question. How do you go from 9 million to 41 million in 4 years in a political office that pays not that much money? Ask yourself that question. You need to be asking more questions. Where's that money coming from? And who's paying it and why? Um, speaking engagements. That's really what they are. Anyway. No, no, no. I believe me, I keep it well within myself. I try to be, even though I am somewhat passionate, I try to be as dispassionate passionate in presentation, so I don't get a little over huffed. Um, like you said, the moment that the Smith-Mundt Act was amended, which I think was 2013, that's when we really started to have problems because now you could be lied to by government. They could push their lies through the media, and things got different. Uh, let's talk about the economy before we move on to something a little more tame like AI. Wow, we are diving through some deep stuff today. Deep, deep stuff. Um, yeah. So the stock market is always a conversation that I have on the 6 Minute Daily. If you've ever watched a weekday show, the morning 6 Minute Daily, it's worth it. I promise. I cover a wide range of issues, mostly on the pop culture entertainment side, but sometimes I get into the business aspect of things and some of the legislative moves that maybe are favorable or not favorable to us as broader consumers. And the fact that we have administrative law that isn't law at all because nobody voted on it. We need to roll back the effects of what administrative entities can do because they shouldn't be allowed to have the power they have because nobody voted for that. Nobody voted for them. Appointments don't really mean anything other than they get to talk about it and deal with certain aspects of things. They should be making recommendations for laws, not making them, because administrative rules are given the effect of law. That's a real problem. So, we're going to take a look at some really poor signs, and people have been propping up the stock market as a positive sign for the economy. No, it's a positive sign for Wall Street. It might be a positive sign for your investments or your 401k. And again, your 401k may have increased, but as far as its buying power is gone, how did that work out? I mean, outside of some stocks that Putin and others talk about, um, it is what it is. So let's look at this particular piece from the AP, a supposed authoritative source. Now, mind you, the reason I do that is because we got that authoritative source baloney sausage, right? I'm not sure how many platforms adopted that ideology, but it's always been baloney sausage because later on the authoritative source has been wrong. They've been wrong on the efficacy of certain things. They've been wrong on uh, so many things I can't even begin to mention it. But let's get into what's interesting. So, the stock market's a sign of a healthy economy. Not necessarily. It's a sign of a healthy stock market and some investments, not an economy. Stock market yesterday. Wall Street closes mostly lower and ends a 6 week winning streak. That's right. It had basically a full week of poor performance. You can't shine that in any other way. Just like you can't polish certain turds. Hang on a minute. I need to clear my throat. Um, and again, certain stocks will perform one way or another. But in yesterday's report from the AP, U.S. indexes gave up an early gain, as I said they would, and drifted to mixed finish on Friday, helping give the market its first losing week since early September. These words are chosen very carefully, very carefully. The Dow Jones fell 0.6%. NASDAQ eked out a 6% gain. Again, and it extended its winning streak to 7 weeks. Good. Nasdaq's good. Dow bad, but more people pay attention to one index over the other. That's fine. Both S&P and Dow have been generally falling back from record highs set last week. The market has been cautious amid worries the stocks have become too expensive, which they have. Higher treasury yields, which make the stocks less appealing to investors, also added more pressure. Right. And that always tells you where the economy is. Believe it or not, higher yields with treasury means, stocks aren't as valuable or valued for the long term for the long term would be the way to go about it. Apparently, the chief investment research at Nationwide, Mark Hackett, said there's a degree of exhaustion following a steady move higher. That always sounded weird to me. Regardless, you had a lot of banking stocks move up despite some interesting performance numbers, mostly because they were sitting on higher cash positions. That's an entirely other conversation. But when I look at these things, I try to pay attention to the writing on the wall. And according to the CNBC, the market's starting to prepare for a different set of leadership from a different position. That's what a lot of these signs, they say, are showing. We can only hope. But I will say that it's interesting that the 6-week winning streak evaporated. And for how long will that continue? I don't know. A lot of the earnings reports came in positive, but they didn't come in at expectations. That usually terrifies the market, which makes a lot of sense. A lot of people are paying attention to various things now. They're paying attention to how far the money in their wallet goes. And it doesn't go as far. And you've been lied to about the way inflation has been for a long time. And well, you're constantly seeing numbers revisions like the jobs market. We found out there's 800,000 less jobs. You got to see some updated crime statistics from the FBI that was done very quietly after a ridiculous fact check live on television, amongst some other things. We have to stop being lied to, and we have to find a way to call the government out for it. And the only way you can do that is to pivot direction and demand accountability. That's it. Rampant spending, we have to stop. And that's accountability we have to have. So, but we got the final story. I want to make sure I get all this in inside of 2 hours. Hey, Victor Fontaine, if that's the truth, my friend, don't listen to me. That's fine. Don't listen. I guess I'm being attributed to the Mad Money guy, right? Thanks for that. I wonder what'll happen. I wonder. I'm not going to go into it. It's fine. Let's pop into the last story I've got. It's on AI. It's something that bothers me. It should bother you because so much is being turned over to artificial intelligence, which isn't any of that. It's an algorithm intelligence, and it's not even intelligent. It's an algorithmic based system of deciphering what's most logically to come next in a world that doesn't have any logic, and in AIs that have been tainted with ways to navigate around truthful things, because the last thing we want in this world is truth, correct? Until AI is non-polluted with a lot of agendas from people who are trying to make it say what they want it to say, how reliable can it be? Well, not very. And it's not very reliable in an area where I think we should demand 100% reliability. Again, from an authoritative source known as the AP. Remember? Authoritative source. Researchers say an AI-powered transcription tool used in hospitals invents things no one ever said. That's not good. It's supposed to figure it all out, put it in the record. Compare an audio recording, which these folks have done. Yeah, it's fascinating. So tech behemoth OpenAI has touted its artificial intelligence-powered transcription tool. Whisper is having near human level robustness and accuracy. Uh-oh. But Whisper has a major flaw. It is prone to making up chunks of text or even entire sentences, according to interviews with more than a dozen software engineers, developers, and academic researchers. You mean people who work in the field? Uh-oh. Those experts said that some of the invented texts known in the industry as hallucinations. Great! AI is hallucinations. Imagine making this thing in charge of stuff. Can include racial commentary, violent rhetoric, and even imagined medical treatments. So it's taking information in an audio form, spoken word from a human, and it's inventing entire things in your medical record. Now, if somebody reads that you've had XYZ treatment, or all of a sudden you're allergic to something that you're not, options either disappear or uh, become exaggerated in a way that could lead to your expiration or some other serious things. Experts said that such fabrications are problematic because Whisper is being used in a slew of industries worldwide to translate and transcribe interviews and or, pick information up out of books or, to plagiarize other people. Generate text in popular consumer technologies and create subtitles for videos. I will say this: YouTube's algorithm for creating subtitles is very good, and Chat GPT can take that and break it down and reconstruct it and all of that, but it's not as good as whatever YouTube is using. It should be really easy, right? No, no. Why is AI involved in that? You got to ask yourself. But hey. More concerning, they said, is a rush by the medical centers to utilize whisper based tools to transcribe patients' consultations with doctors, despite OpenAI's warnings that the tool should not be used in high risk domains because it's making stuff up. What's the most logical thing that this person said? It's attributing things to people that weren't in the recording. It should be one for one. I'm telling you, YouTube's YouTube's closed captioning service is better than any of this stuff. Why? This should be easy. We've been doing this forever with computers. What's happened? Why is AI involved in this now? Interesting. Here we go. The full extent of the problem is difficult to discern. Really? But researchers and engineers have said that they frequently have come across whispers hallucinations in their work. A University of Michigan researcher, go Big Blue, uh, conducting a study of public meetings, for example, said he found hallucinations in 8 out of every 10 audio transcriptions he inspected. 80% of these records are wrong. That's dangerous. The problems persist even in well recorded short audio samples. A recent study by computer scientists uncovered 187 hallucinations in more than 13,000 clear audio snippets they examined. Well, 187 people out of 13,000 are screwed. That trend could lead to tens of thousands of faulty transcriptions over millions of recordings. AI is unreliable, friends. Real time data analysis can be done algorithmically, but there are certain things that just shouldn't be done by any of these tools because it doesn't seem to work. It doesn't seem to work. Trinoculus P says hallucinations are errors. Yeah. Dean, you and I grew up in the same school. I know this for a fact. Reminds me of the old term GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. Yeah, when you program something, you wouldn't get the right result. By the way, proofing what you worked on when you were writing software or a program was really important, and being able to test it against the reality of the situation. That's why humans, which are probably the most advanced pattern recognition machines on the ever, look at stuff and go, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. Anyway, yep, scuzzy. There you go. Wow, that is horrifying. Bad data in medicine can lead to an expired patient. Yes, it can, and it does. So why are we trusting this kind of stuff to a machine that we've been told by the developer is unreliable? We have to treat AI as an unreliable narrator, and we should do that forever because I don't see an upside. I don't see an upside to trusting something like that. And this is the other problem, right, Jerry Beckett? Programs writing programs, it's already being done. AI will write programs for you. What could go wrong? Well, if they're given bad data at the beginning, like a biased model that they're working from, they will double down on the inherent bias that's built in. What could go wrong? Absolutely horrific results. Yeah, and anybody who works in the industry, I mean, you look at that and you're like, I gotta go. The coding here is terrible. You guys are, running on borrowed time. Yeah, it's true. AI companies keep trying to recruit me to educate AI. No, thanks. I don't want any part of making people uh, intellectual and moral cripples. Yep. Yeah, current text chats are a great example of GIGO if you don't practice proofreading in the little stuff. And this is the other problem. How many times has autocorrect here on YouTube or anywhere else mistreated you? And you said something you absolutely didn't mean to send with words that, made you sound like the current VP of the United States. Anyway. Yeah, we used to have code reviews, so multiple minds would catch the problems. Yeah. And again, good operations still operate that way, but the pursuit of profit at the corporate level has undermined a lot of quality. Because they look at in certain industries, they look at too many people in one area as redundancy, and they need to be reduced. Maybe in some sections that's true, but no, it's a self-driving problem though. And again, it's the greed at the corporate level, which leads me back to accountability. There needs to be more, or even some in some cases. Let's just be fair and honest about it. Snakes and funerals. I ducking hate autocorrect. That's right. It's true. Oh, all right, friends. Well, in 30 minutes from right now, actually, Salty Nerd Podcast goes live on the Salty Nerd Podcast channel. You need to check that out. Check them out. They have a new gaming channel that's doing really well. Speaking of gaming channels, that game place is going to be rolling in stories. I pushed up 5 stories to be released in the next few days. Today, we're going to work on 5 more. You're going to start seeing a ramp up on my channel to maybe 3 videos a day. Woohoo! Back where we used to be, and we will need your help. We got to drive this channel to 50K. I can't do that without you. So share the dream, share the stream, share the channel, share it all out there. Double check that you're subscribed. If you accidentally found your way here, whether on the green machine, that would be Rumble, or on YouTube. Double check you did subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. And if you want to remain subscribed to any channel that you love, YouTube says watch more than one video consistently from that channel in a row, and it'll immediately make sure that you get consistent notifications from that channel. I know that sounds odd, but it's coming from YouTube. So there you go. Um, I'm looking at all the people in the chat. You guys, I really appreciate the support. The next place you're going to go from here automatically is to tomorrow's live stream, High Rollers. That's right. If you are a High Rollers supporter, if you are at the top tier, yeah, get to be in a public live stream that goes live on YouTube. You'll be able to check that out. If you want to check it out, it'll be there automatically. And then go check out Salty Nerd Podcast. And in the spare time, I've dropped a video yesterday that might be very interesting. If you're a member, you got the shot at the video that's going to drop later today in about 2.5 hours, as a matter of fact. On that note, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.